Hey guys, Czar here. Good morning to you. Market opens in 4 seconds or 3 seconds or now. There it is. There's the first candle of the New York session, guys. Little late clicking play here today. I want to start off with the daily three sisters if I can. There's the NASDAQ, S&P, and Dow. We are open. We have a bullish body on the NASDAQ and the S&P and on the Dow. We actually broke yesterday's high on the Dow. We have a down cascading day on the S&P and on the NASDAQ, meaning the low is lower than yesterday's low for the overnight, of course, in the future session, and the high is lower than yesterday's high. Same sort of thing on the S&P. The opposite on the Dow here, guys. And of course, this is the Dow 30 industrial stocks. This is the 500 blue chip stocks. This is the tech heavy NASDAQ, which of course had NVIDIA earnings last night. And NVIDIA at one point was down 8 or 9%, I believe it was, and then finished down 3 or 4% in extended hours from what I remember, but firming up a little bit here this morning as we open up. The 1 minute three sisters, guys, there's that 1 minute open range. It is now fixed in place. We are above vwap, volume weighted average price here for the future session on all three. I'm going to zoom in here so we can watch this interaction with the open range. Narrow range here by the look of it, guys. Let's take a quick look on the NASDAQ. Yeah, 33 points, give or take. On the S&P, around 6 3/4 points, and on the Dow around 42, and that makes sense on a relative basis. Pushing up here on the NASDAQ, down on the Dow, and something in between as usual on the S&P. Splitting the difference, a muted version of the two. Up on the NAS, down on the Dow. I'll largely ignore the Dow as I typically do these days, given that it is in fact marching to its own drummer. Over to the power grid. Again, there's that down day, but up body, so bullish turn here or flip on the overnight, early morning. You can see it here through the pre-market in Asia, then Asia rallying up, UK rallying up as well, and now rallying fairly strongly here on the New York Open. I'm going to move over to a 30-second chart here on the right-hand side, guys. I'm not going to chase this. I'm not going to jump all over this just because it happens to be moving. I know that will be tempting for many traders, and it's simply not going to happen here. We have a down day on the Dow. We have an up day on the NASDAQ, and again, that flat-ish day on the S&P. Divergent, mixed bag. I'm not touching this thing until we get some more structure and some more confirmation one way or the other. I'll put you on pause and bring you back probably in a few minutes. And just watching here, guys, nothing to do. Dropping pretty hard here now on the Dow. Trying to push up above open range on the S&P, but look at these tightly wound EMAs. We are flat, completely flat coming in to the market open. Same thing on the NASDAQ. We're just pushing up now, but that's no reason for me to do anything here or jump on this thing. Back to the power grid, pushing up now, closing a little range here on the 30-minute chart, as you can see. Back into last week's range. There's the low of last week's range. And there's the high of last week's range. We've just re-entered. Not going to jump on this. 30-second chart on the right-hand side, guys, for some surgical detail. No FOMO, no chasing. Just cool, calm, and collected watching. Looking for the right moment to strike, if any moment at all. And for those of you who watch quite often, you will know that I will never, or virtually never, enter on an extended move like this. Even though it can be tempting when you see prices just running away like that. But this is now an inside day behavior, but very bullish body, of course, erasing much, if not all, of that move that we had yesterday from a body standpoint. See that there? Almost tagging. It looked like we were about to tag yesterday's body high. So this market is in the mood for buying so far. We're up just under 1% here on the futures on NASDAQ. Only 45 basis points on the S&P and 33 basis points on the Dow. All right, guys, pulling back a little bit here, just at least for one candle so far. S&P tagging the top of the open range here above EMAs. I'm going to pull you back to the 30-second chart. I'd like to at least tag that 21, otherwise I'm not going to be touching this. not going to lie when I say it's a little tempting, but I'm not going to do it. Just because we're tempted doesn't mean we need to act on those impulses, even if it turns out that it would have been a good idea. Who knows? The real game is impulse control, guys. The technical stuff is the easy part. The setups are the easy part. You can learn that pretty quickly, even though I'm in my 4th decade now, late in my 4th decade. It's actually just over 40 years of trading now. And I can tell you that all the stuff I needed to learn, I could have learned in the first 6 months to a year or so. And the rest is all learning how to control impulses or manage impulses. Pulled back now, we've tagged the 21, but this is on the 30 chart. Here's the 1 minute chart. Not there yet. We don't have to get there. But now I'm going to be watching price action very, very carefully. But yeah, given what I'm seeing here on the S&P, the weakness in the Dow, I'm not going to touch this. I'm going to wait here, guys. All right, guys, now on the 1 minute chart, we have pulled back to the 21. That does not mean I'm going to be looking for a buy here. We had these rally attempts and wick downs, rally attempt, wick down, rally attempt, flip, and wick down. And so this is looking more like some fresh selling is coming in, not just a normal gravity move because of lack of buying interest, but looking like there's some pressure here. No guarantees on that, but I'm going to be watching this closely. Watching now, guys. This is just a marker. I'm not in. This is not a live order. Just an idea. Doing some measuring. Watching the 3 sisters, as always, on a separate screen. Here, here, and here. This is not a live order, guys. So I'm going to move it to the side, in fact. All right, guys, when this candle closes, buy stop order above that candle. That's the one I'm looking for. Stop just below that body. See that body right there? Here we go. Buy stop order. Buy stop order. And I'm in, guys. I just got triggered in right there. Now it's patience, but we're getting some choppy, wicky stuff going on here, aren't we? And there it is, guys. Well, that didn't take too long, did it? A little bit of nervousness on that chop inside of that candle there, but nothing much. This is a textbook trend continuation trade. Nice, strong impulse. Fairly orderly pullback here into the 21, breaking above some key little micro areas here, the 9 squeezing into the 21, and then heading back up to the prior high. Thanks for being here. Have a great morning. We'll talk to you soon.